And I'm probably going to really offend some people with my top 5 overrated things.
See, just you saying that with that sweet face, like, I'm going to offend some people. Like, that's the energy we want. All right, and here we go. It is time for another episode of Cash's Top 5. I cannot believe that we are doing this one today. I feel like this is almost 2 decades in the making that we are doing this, because we go back a long ways, back to the early high school days on my end. And I was thinking about that. I always feel, graduate of Warren Central, I'm a warrior, like that's my school. But you have spent considerably more time in that building that I have. So really, it's more your school. Joining me today, my good friend and coworker and mentor and lots of titles she's had in my life, Bree Brown. How's it going?
I'm doing well, Adam. Thank you so much for having me. You're right. I have spent more time here, but there's certainly a difference between the student experience and the adult experience. And you will forever be an alumnus of Warren Central High School. I will never get to have that pleasure. But I certainly love this place and have loved my time here. And yeah, it's been not quite 20 years ago, but awfully close since we first met.
Yeah, we're knocking on the door. We have to have a little celebration here in a couple of years. I'm excited for this one because, as I said, you were my teacher. You've been a mentor, and you're the reason that I'm back teaching now on the east side of Indy. And you've always been very supportive. I always think that you're one of the more empathetic people I've met in my life. And now we are ranking. We're going to get kind of a mean list. We're ranking our top 5 most overrated things according to us. And I'm excited to hear why you've chosen some of the things on your list. We'll see how mean it gets. I think we'll try to keep it as positive as we can, because there are definitely some overrated things out there.
There are, in full disclosure. So because you were once my student, I feel like I have to temper my answers. And because I still work in a school, I will temper my answers. And I'm probably going to really offend some people with my top 5 overrated things.
See, just you saying that with that sweet face, like, I'm going to offend some people. Like, that's the energy we want. I think it's going to be a good one. I really think you're going to be upset at 1 or 2 of mine. So I apologize in advance, but we'll get into it. We're ranking our top 5 most overrated things. It was a little difficult to get mine down to 5. I'm not going to lie. I feel like there's a lot of overrated things out there. So let's get into it. Let's kick it off. What do you have at number 5?
All right. So number 5, and I came up with this list a little too quickly. It was really easy for me to come up with 5 overrated things. And again, this is the censored list, but number 5 for me, scented candles. So overrated. And it's fall, and people really love scented candles in the fall, like pumpkin spice, apple pie, all of those things. And it's just not worth the money or the soot that ends up on your ceiling.
Okay, 2 questions. Actually, many questions that come to mind. Soot on the ceiling from candles, that's a thing that happens?
Yeah, so most people don't even know, right? This is one of the reasons they're overrated, is that when you let a candle burn for too long, it actually will leave a ring of like a black, dark coloring on your ceiling or the wall close to where you've been burning it. It's not worth repainting your house to have a few hours of what you believe is a pleasant smell that really is just filling your lungs with toxins.
Okay, wow, you came out of the gate swinging. I was not expecting that at all. I love that you came up with it quickly. Like you've been waiting to tell somebody about why scented candles suck and how they're overrated. So toxins are there like safe brands out there, I would assume, that aren't as dangerous as other main brands for candles?
Yeah, I mean, I think some are better than others. I think people who are overly cautious would tell you that, especially, look, you want to get serious about it, kids with asthma, people with migraines, things like that. Yeah. None of those chemical smells are good for your body. So.
Okay. Wow. Well, I feel a lot worse about my number 5 pick for you. Scented candles is a great way to start. And here's where we make everybody mad. My number 5 for you, most overrated thing in the world. I have dogs.
Oh,
Yeah. Now we should preface this, and I guess it's not really a preface since we already started, but these are overrated things. That doesn't mean they're not good or they're not great in some way. They're just overrated. Something good can be overrated. Um, Clearly, scented candles are not good, even. They're kind of bad. That's why they're overrated. I like dogs. I'm not anti-dog, but the the responsibility, the barking, the cleanliness, the odor, the just everything that comes along with it. I am much more of a cat person. Like, I'll come to you, you come to me, like, let's keep our distance. Let's, have that boundary. Love dogs, but if you start licking my face or my hands and I got to go wash it, like, that annoys me.
yeah.
And I kind of don't get the appeal all the time.
So honestly, I'm not really much of a dog person either. We had some dogs growing up, but when you have kids and they beg constantly for a dog, you soften your heart a little bit. We're not there yet. We don't own a dog. I debate constantly, just for what you said, right? Like, I'm done cleaning up diapers. I don't want to clean up anything else like that. But I will say that there's something about a small child asking for a dog that softens the heart just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll let you know if I ever get to that point. I feel like
Okay.
I will hold strong with my no dog policy, even with kids. But okay, I guess that wasn't as bad. We've got scented candles at number 5.
Yes.
Overrated things. Bree Brown, what's number 4?
So this is really probably going to most impact the generation that I work with every single day. My number 4 overrated thing is video games.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really good. That's actually not on my top 5, but I have that written down as an honorable mention. Let's hear it.
Yeah, so, honestly, I couldn't even tell you what gaming system is the most current. I know they're way too expensive. I know that people will go to great lengths to get them. And all it does is make you stagnant on the couch. And then you're interacting with strangers online and doing anything from NBA 2K and, pretending like you're an NBA star that you always dreamed you could be that you're not, or just like randomly shooting things and people, which isn't really appealing to me. So yeah, video games, number 4.
Yeah, no, that's a good call. When I was a kid, I really wasn't a gamer at all. And I'm still not. We had consoles because of my dad. He enjoyed having Nintendo and this and that. And my friends would come over and like, we played Mario and Zelda, like the old school stuff. But once it became super interactive and consoles were $400, $500, $600, like you said, like, I'm good. Like, I would rather go play basketball than play it in a video game.
Right.
And
yeah, and consoles now I think are closer to like 1,000, 1,500, $2,000, depending on what you're looking for. There's a whole lot else you could buy with that.
Oh my God. Yeah. Down payment for a car.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't expect for us to sound this old right away, but that's fine. We'll be grandma and grandpa, like video games shouting at the sky. No, but I agree. My number 4 for you is I'm curious to hear your take on it, but overrated to me is dating. Online and in-person dating. I think there's too much of a premium put on. You need to find somebody, you need to this, you need to that. People, it's like they're trying to find love through a spreadsheet. They need an Enneagram 7 versus and they need a Libra this with a rising Taurus it's like, take the Excel spreadsheet out of the equation, go out and have fun with friends and meet somebody a normal way.
Yeah.
But the function of dating just to be like, because you have to, way overrated.
So yeah, but dating for your generation is so different than dating was for mine. For my generation, it was, you go out, you hang out with friends, you meet people, get to know them, see if there's somebody that you vibe with a little bit, and then, where does that take you? Now, I've been married for almost 9 years, and so I'm far, far out of the dating game. And quite frankly, I was never great at dating. Like one of my best friends said to me in our 20s, we're out one night and she was like, "You're never going to meet anyone." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And she was like, "Because when like people get in the elevator and you're in there, you look like you're just going to rip somebody's head off. You've got to change the look on your face." So without using profanity, you can gather what that means, right? And so I just have a super serious persona. I'm not an extrovert, and you know, people kind of drive me crazy. So dating wasn't really my
thing. Are you still friends with that person?
I am, yeah.
That's great. It's sometimes it takes a friend, you know, rattling your cage a little bit, like, hey, you might want to knock that off. Just a heads up, and something you don't even know that you're doing.
Right.
Man, that's really funny. Okay. So we've got scented candles. We've got video games. I have no idea what's coming next. What do you have at number 3? We're ranking our overrated things of all time.
All right. So number 3, this is probably really going to upset most 40-something women. Okay. My number 3 overrated thing is wine.
Oh, man. I see my subscribers just dwindling now. They're so upset over what you just said. Why wine?
So wine, I think, is one of those things that people love because it's trendy. Many people that I meet don't really even like the taste of wine. They drink it because they want to hang the sign in their kitchen that says, you know, wines of the world, and have the cute wine rack and all the fancy wine glasses. But it's not really the wine itself that's appealing. Plus, you get headaches and it's not worth the calories. And I mean, look, there's a long, long list. I have yet to find anything that pairs well with wine. And people just say, like, look, your palate's not developed enough. Well, I'd rather develop my palate on something like dark chocolate than wine.
Yeah, I get the same thing. I am not much of a drinker, and because I don't like a lot of spirits and other things. And people are like, "Oh, you just haven't tried this or that." I'm like, "No, I'm good. I don't need to." It's like when somebody tells you need to watch a TV show. It's like, "We'll give it a couple seasons, then it gets really good." I'm like, I don't have the time to invest in this long TV show that maybe gets good. I guess wine is the same thing. I think I'm probably on the same wavelength of you when it comes to coffee. The whole vibe of coffee, I feel like it's its own little trend. It's its own little group. You've got the mug and the cup and the pumpkin spice lattes and yeah. And I'm admittedly not a coffee drinker. Like, I genuinely don't. I've only had it once or twice in my life. So I get that. I get the feeling like an outsider, and because I worked in radio for a decade and now I'm a teacher. So 2 professions where they're like, "Oh, coffee's your best friend." Yeah. I'm like, nope, it really isn't.
Sorry, my phone is ringing. The job never ends.
I thought you were going to pull your Keurig and the other coffee.
No, I do have a Keurig back there. Coffee is definitely my thing.
Okay. So I had dogs. I've got dating. My number 3, I kind of went back and forth on this because it's not an argument I like to have because it's so subjective. But my number 3 most overrated thing is the Beatles, the band. I try to stay away from music and movie arguments because you like what you like. 10 years ago, I was Mr. like, "Oh, you like that? That's dumb." I would write somebody off because of their opinions. But in my older, wiser years now, I've come to find that you like what you like and just let people enjoy what they enjoy. Nobody wants the rain cloud. Nobody wants the person going around popping balloons all day. Like, just live and let live. But the Beatles just annoy me because the fans annoy me so much. They have put them up on this pedestal, and if you don't listen to them or if you don't appreciate them, then they look down on you. And I've had so much negativity from the Beatles fandom that I'm going to return it right back at them and say, I think they're overrated.
Yeah. So, my kids say, "Don't yuck my yum." I feel like that's kind of what you're saying with the whole, like, you just got to let people like what they like. You don't say anything bad about it. Don't yuck my yum.
That is a great phrase. Where did that come from?
From kindergarten.
That is amazing. I love
Yeah.
that phrase. I'm going to
Yeah.
steal that.
Now, I have to say though, I do love the Beatles. I think there's some nostalgia that comes with the Beatles. Now, I've never been like a huge fan. I don't follow, any of the social media or groupies or anything like that, but there are some great timeless Beatles songs that I do love.
And there are some songs that I do enjoy, but again, there are good things on the list, but yeah, I get it. Okay. Candles, video games, wine. It sounds like we're putting a shopping list or a birthday list together for your list. What do we have in number 2?
So the next one is the ultimate birthday gift, probably for most children. But I really think that Disney World is overrated.
Oh man, you've made the moms mad, you've made the kids mad. Now you're going for everybody. What's up with Disney World? Why do you think it's overrated?
Look, we've taken our kids to Disney World. They loved it. I think there are some great things. Quite frankly, my favorite thing at Disney is pineapple whip, and now I can get that at Ohana Donuts in Fisher, so I don't need to go all the way to Orlando for that.
Sure.
But when I was a kid, it seemed like this grand place. As an adult, you realize really quickly that it's just another theme park. And the last couple of times I've gone, I'm really intrigued with Disney's leadership program and kind of the systems and methods that they use to create everything that's a part of their experience. And really the people that were there weren't that nice last time. So it kind of shot down all of my, ideals and high hopes about what you might experience at Disney World.
That's too bad, because honestly, I feel like that would have been something on my list, as somebody who does not have kids, and I am not a theme park guy. I've never been to Kings Island. Roller coasters scare me. I have no interest. I'll do the dart toss at the county fair. That's about as theme park as I'll get. But I would imagine seeing it through the eyes of your kids is the main appeal. But to your point, you can get a lot of that other places and not cost thousands of dollars, right?
Right. And in fairness, so I don't do spinny rides. I don't do roller coasters. Now, I love the look on my kids' face when they get to see a character for the first time, or, have an experience that's really special to them.
Yeah.
But as an adult, my personal experience, it's overrated.
I got you. Well, yeah. I can't disagree with that. I've never been, and I feel like the things you've said are the reasons why I haven't gone. I'm glad you kind of confirmed that for me. My number 2, I don't know if you had one. I think you had one of these technically. So we'll see.
Okay.
But overrated thing, number 2 on my list, outdoor weddings. As somebody who has been in and performed quite a few weddings over the last 10 years, if you're getting married in August or July, maybe think about having another plan. Maybe take it indoors if it's going to be 1,000,000 degrees outside, or have some fans. Now, usually receptions are indoors, so it's not so bad. But that 20 minutes that you're standing outside in a suit is the worst 20 minutes, especially as a bigger dude. Not a fan of the outdoor and the humidity. Bugs, the sunlight in your eyes, the sweat. I mean, all the bad things just are amplified at an outdoor wedding.
Yeah, so actually I've had 2 weddings, Adam. One was inside and one was out. Now I gotta tell you, the outdoor one has been a success. So I can't knock outdoor weddings too much. Something about indoors just didn't quite work out for me. But I get it. I mean, I wouldn't want to we had our outdoor wedding in the Dominican Republic. It was quick. We just had a couple people there. Beautiful.
Okay, so that's the difference. You didn't have like an outdoor, Indiana barn humidity at 95. Like you had a destination, awesome, beachy kind of wedding, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't count. But I'm happy that it worked out for you, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to be in a wedding dress in 95 degrees in Indiana, humid, hot summer with mosquitoes. I'm totally in agreement with that. But the destination weddings outside are pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, things you're talking about spending money on, video games, Disney World, put it towards an outdoor wedding. That's a destination wedding is
Yeah,
definitely the play. Okay.
there you go.
So we've got scented candles, we've got video games, we've got wine, we've got Disney World,
Yeah.
all overrated things. I can't disagree with much so far. Number one,
Okay. So
what do you have?
I'm confident that this is going to be the one that really makes people just shut off the podcast and stop listening.
Oh, good. That's what I want.
They're not going to be happy with me. Number one, overrated thing, in my opinion, is bacon.
Okay.
See, you're
All
ready
right.
to be done with me at this point.
Nope. That's all right. Let's hear why. Because again,
Okay.
these could be great things, but they just happen to be overrated.
Yeah, like I've enjoyed a great piece of bacon in my life. I'm not
Sure.
saying that because I don't eat meat. Now somebody else is going to be mad. Now I got both sides mad, right? The vegans are mad.
You're doing
the people
great.
who love bacon are mad.
You got the flamethrower, just taking everybody down. I like it.
So a couple of things. One, if you really know how to buy bacon, it takes time to find the right package of bacon that isn't all fat and actually has enough like meat in it to make it worth your while.
Mhm.
And so you got to flip through the packages, turn them over, look at the back where you can actually see what you're purchasing. If you don't do that, you're really missing out on the best bacon. So it takes a long time. Getting bacon cooked correctly is really hard for most people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I mean, most people have chewy, soggy, the fat is still full-fledged, like fat part of the bacon. Not worth it. You got to know how to cook it right, pick it right, cook it correctly, and then serve it appropriately. And that doesn't happen very often.
Oh,
it's
man.
fat, Adam.
What's
it's
that?
A slice of pig fat. Like,
yeah,
it's overrated.
I can't look. I'm not going to disagree with you. For a lot of the reasons you said. Well, I mean, it makes me really mad when I go somewhere and like out to a restaurant and it's undercooked. Like,
Yeah.
Cook it, man. Like, this is really gross when it's still the fat on it. I'm probably just offended because I'm just your typical Midwesterner. I outweigh you by like 2 fat 6th graders. So bacon's been much more a part of my life than yours. And I'm just now realizing that you have such a grown-up list compared to mine. Like scented candles, like you're toxin, you're health conscious, video games, you want people to exercise, wine, you want to limit alcohol intake, Disney World, you want financial security, and then bacon. Like, it's such a perfect list for somebody I know that is just has her stuff together and always has. I love it.
All right. What's your number one?
Okay. So I had dogs, dating, Beatles, outdoor wedding. Number one, most overrated thing for me, and I think you'll agree with me on this, New Year's Eve is number one. And it's mainly as an adult. But even when I was a kid, I feel like New Year's Eve really wasn't that big of a deal because you're a kid, you know, you don't make it to midnight until you're probably like 9 or 10 or 11-ish because you crash out early when you're younger. And then if you can get together with friends or cousins or, you know, your family, like maybe that's kind of fun for a little bit, but then you get older into high school and then college, like it's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. Everybody's trying to meet up and link up at this place and we're going to go over to that place and it's always crowded and it's always way too expensive and it's just, and then it's over. And it's like, okay, that's great. What are we doing now? Cool. Like New Year's Eve, overrated.
Couldn't agree more. I'm actually kind of disappointed that didn't make my list, that I didn't think of that because I am in 100% agreement with the fact that it's too crowded, too expensive. Remember when I said I don't really like people? So it doesn't work well for me to be in a room with that many people all at one time, especially
ones you don't know.
And they're likely intoxicated and I'm tired and they're about to like spray stuff all over me. It just doesn't go well.
You've got your 20-year-old friend next to you, like, are you okay? Like your face looks a little upset right now. Wow. Well, I don't feel as bad about my list. I really enjoy yours. Was there anything that, besides New Year's Eve, anything that didn't quite make your list?
Not anything that I am willing to share publicly in this forum.
Deal. All right. We'll like I said, we'll do a second one with other answers later on. Coffee. I had technology just in general as one. I get the importance of it and the benefit to technology, but I also see just how much harm is done via social media and other things. Video games kind of being linked into that as well. And then turning 21 is also kind of linked to New Year's Eve. You know, it's kind of an adult thing. It's like, this is it. All right, cool. I don't get the hype behind it, but
yeah,
those are the ones that didn't quite make the list.
Awesome. I love your list. I actually, I could probably almost use your list as mine in most cases, but coffee's got to come off. That's a deal breaker.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know that honestly, none of yours really affect me. I don't play video games. I don't drink wine. I don't have scented candles. Single guy with no scented candles, pretty obvious. Never been to Disney World. I guess bacon really would be the only one. And even then, that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. So, all right, we've solved all the world problems. Bree Brown, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I know you were a super, super busy lady, busier than any other person I know. So thank you so much for taking the time, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thanks for having me. I'll see you in the morning.